Buongiorno everyone, welcome to the Palace preview. We've got Rubenstein here, how we doing, mate?
I'm good, mate, thank you for having me down in sunny Southampton, we'll call it.
Not so sunny anymore, a bit cloudy, still a bit warmer than Newcastle-ish, would you say? A bit windy?
Maybe-ish, it's not quite as nice as I hope, but it's a lovely view over there, just a shame the sun's not shining.
I know, we can't really catch the view, we've got a lovely marina down there, but we can't really catch the view, it's not really happening for will it happen for Newcastle tomorrow? That's the big question. Got the preview coming up here for tomorrow's game. We'll be there, 3 o'clock game at Selhurst Park, an good old fashioned one, sold out away section for the Travelling Toon Army, in what is the end of Steve Bruce and the beginning of Graham Jones.
Yeah.
Graham Jones, interim charge for the Toon tomorrow for the next 2 or 3 games, apparently just came out today. He's had his first press conference in charge of Newcastle. What did you make of what you had to say, and what do you make of going into the game? Do you think you can do the business, step up the plate?
Yeah, I mean, he obviously said the right things in the interview. He spoke about obviously being a local lad. We know he's going to want to do a good job. He's not had much time at all. I mean, he's had about 30 seconds to basically meet the squad, and the way I can only word it is try and work a little bit of magic, because at the end of the day, in terms of players, how much has he really got to work with? Not that much. And really, to change, a philosophy of a team who's played a certain way over a few years, he's going to struggle to do that in 48 hours. So I'm hoping that he can have his little 2 pence worth. And I mean, we mentioned it earlier, I do wonder how many things Graham Jones might have been trying to implement that maybe Bruce had said no to previously. So I'm hoping that maybe now he can maybe let the shackles off a little bit and we can see what we can do.
Hopefully. I mean, we've got nothing to lose apart from the 9th game without a win. You know what I mean? So we have to go for it tomorrow. We have to. I mean, Jones can't implement his ideas because the players have got too many bastard days off. Have you seen the amount of days off?
It is crazy.
Got, man. What is going on here?
Well, I think that was Bruce wanting to go, wasn't it? Surely you can't have that many days off and expect to stay in a job, can you?
Well, I was reading what Danny Rose was saying when he obviously spent his loan spell here on Tyneside a season or 2 ago, where he says he couldn't believe the amount of days off that he was getting.
Wow.
And it is unreal. It's absolutely outrageous the amount of days off that the players are getting. Like, especially the mess we're in. We need points in the board. We're thick in a relegation battle.
And the thing is, in the Spurs game as well, and I'm sure we'll talk about it. I was really hoping that, despite the fact that Brucey was there, I was really hoping that the occasion would have been enough to see those players really go out there and do something. We were good for 10 minutes and we looked knackered second half. And everyone again is pointing to these days off. Like, what is it? What is our fitness? Is this going to happen tomorrow as well? Are we going to have a second half, good first half, tired second half? Because if that's the position we're in, we're going to struggle against anyone. Never mind Spurs or what has been a good Crystal Palace side so far this season.
Nah, I've been a good Palace side. I mean, if you look at their results so far this season, Palace, they had obviously a big game on Monday night, unlucky not to get the win at the Emirates. Patrick Vieira going back to where it all started for him as a player. They were without Zaha Monday night, but apparently he's fit for the weekend, so that's great news. Of course he is. Why wouldn't he be? And there's also a chance of Eze returning from injuries, so isn't that really good news as well? Just what you want to hear. 2 of their best players. Palace were unbeaten in all 4 Premier League games, but have won just one of them, a 3-0 success against Spurs. Couple of draws against Brentford, Brighton and Leicester City at Selhurst Park, so it's not going to be an easy game to go to, is it?
Well, again, this is the thing. I think Vieira's done a good job there. He took a few risks when he went in as well. He's trying to have a bit of a change up with the side. You look at them letting players go like Townsend on a free because he was maybe the older side, and you know what, he's gone and done fantastic at Everton, so I bet he's thinking maybe I could have kept a hold of him. Look at players like Gary Cahill, again an older player who's kind of moved on, so he is trying to freshen up the squad, make some changes, and as you say, undefeated at home so far this season, and considering they're playing now against a team who hasn't won all season, the stats are definitely pointing in their direction, but as I say, I really want the players to go out there and show, because this is the thing, Brucey's taken a lot of stick, and the players, yes, have as well, but Brucey's taken the most of it. Now that Brucey's gone, they need to go out there and show, it was his fault, not ours, we're actually alright, it was all Brucey's fault, so they need to go out there and show that tomorrow, because if they're useless again tomorrow, it's all eyes on them, And
it's all eyes on Jones. We mentioned Jones taking interim charge, and he's never going to impress the owners enough to get the job permanently. We know that, the owners have got bigger sights than that. Plenty of candidates getting interviewed across the next couple of days. But Jones will go out there and be proud. He's managing his hometown club. It's a big deal for him. Show what he's capable of, and then who knows where he'll go from there. I mean, Jones is obviously rated if Southgate's getting him involved in the Euros.
Yeah.
But obviously being a coach to a manager is a whole different ball game, really, in terms of your style of play, your character and things like that. But hopefully he can implement a bit more. I mean, his first game that he came in as coach for Newcastle was Everton away, and we won, didn't we? We played a nice style that day. You know, we had a 4-3-3 formation. So there's a chance tomorrow to Jones to make an impression and the players make an impression.
Well, as you say, you mentioned it, most managers, when they go, they'll take the backroom staff with them. Jones obviously came in separately altogether, so really he's kind of aside from that. And I think Jones has also built himself a great name under what England did in the Euros. So I do think any new manager coming in would definitely recognise the name and would like to keep someone like that on board. But as you say, you know, he's got himself a chance to put a few games together. I mean, for me, I genuinely thought he'd have tomorrow, but with the new manager already in the stands, because
that would have been a dream.
That would have been, because again, you know, you want the players to have that new manager buzz. Will they get it from Jones? Maybe.
Too familiar, probably, isn't it?
Yeah, it's tough. So I had hoped that maybe one of the new mentioned managers would have been in the stands. So at least that way they would know they are playing for someone who is going to be very judging of whether they stay or they go.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's a big chance tomorrow. We mentioned Palace's team news. Obviously, stupid old Shelby has made himself an eligible for this game.
Mate, honestly, you know, you talk about experienced players in the squad. Shelby's as experienced as they go. He obviously didn't want to play today.
It was hilarious.
I mean, that was ridiculous.
He was the first player to come out and be interviewed about the takeover, and he was like, "Oh well, it's our chance to show that we're worth it. You know, I want to be here for." He was like, "I want to be here for a few years. I want to show what I can do. I want to be a part of this exciting project." He gets sent off within 20 minutes. It was two reckless, rash,
so
stupid
lazy.
challenges.
It was just such laziness. We're already losing. The game's done. The game was done at half time, if we're being honest. You know, he comes on as a sub. He only played 20 minutes and he was off again. He obviously wanted the early bath and he couldn't be bothered coming out of London this weekend. I mean, he
must have plans. Probably got an engagement party this weekend or something to go.
It's just madness. And again, this is why we speak about, you know, I made my Keep Ourselves video over on my channel. Go and check it out. Shameless plug. But I did that, and I tried to give every player the full chance to say, you know what, can they prove themselves? Can they rise up? Maybe they haven't been so good, but can we see something of them now? I mean, I'd love for some of these players. We mentioned Lewis earlier. We've not even seen him. I'd love it for him to have a chance and actually say, you know what, they've missed me out, but I'm going to show what I can do now. And you look at, and some people look at it and go, we want to keep St. Max, Wilson, Willock and Dubravka and get rid of the rest.
Yeah.
You know, and I completely get that opinion as well. But when we're talking about some players who could have the ability, they just have to show it. I think Shelby's in there, but he's just makes these silliest mistakes, and you don't want that kind of player around when he's going to be doing that.
No. His head's just never been in it. Shelby could have been a massive player.
Yeah.
Shelby could have been a huge player. I mean, Liverpool bought him to replace Gerrard, and he's just went downhill. We've seen glimpses over the years of what he's capable of, but very far in between in it, really. It could be a big bonus tomorrow that Miguel Miron's back from, obviously, the troubles with international duty and flying all over the world and all the COVID restrictions and stuff. But you mentioned Lewis, and I mentioned in your video that, for me, I hope Graham Jones switches it up. I hope it's not the same team that plays against Spurs, because the back line was horrendous against Tottenham. It has been all season, really. You got Fernandes on the bench, Fabian Shaw on the bench, Jamal Lewis, chuck him in. Let's try and change things up front. I would change formation. Obviously, we cannot start Shelby, so I hope Jones does try and play his own team and doesn't just rinse and repeat Brucey's poster from last week and be stuck on the change room door who's starting.
The thing, it's a really tough one for Jones, because if he sticks with the same team and it does well and everyone goes, it's the Jones factor here, he knows what he's doing. If he completely changes the team and will win, everyone will go, thank God Jones is in, he's done what he needed to do.
The saviour.
If we lose the game, if he completely changes the team, brings players like Lewis in, players like, I don't know, Gale in, I'm sure he won't play Gale, but if he did and we won, everyone would be standing ovation. But if we lose, though, it's like, well, we knew these players weren't good enough, that's why they've not played all season. So he's in a tough place. I definitely understand where you're coming from, but I also think staying the same is probably a safe option. But
Gale's a hero down at Palace, like, so maybe chuck him in.
Well,
he likes Lewis Park. That's when he was on fire back for them back in the day, wasn't it?
Give the substitutes longer than 2 minutes, like Bruce does. I think that's a
Bruce
good
Jones.
start. Let's do that at least.
Well, I'm not sure if it is going to be the perfect start tomorrow, but for me, it's vital that we just avoid defeat because of where we are on the table. I'm going to go for a 1-1, and I'd probably take that now, but I mean, if we can nick 3 points, it would be obviously unbelievable. But I'm going to go for a hard-fought 1-1 because Vieira and Palace work hard and they've impressed me so far this season. Better than I thought they would. Yeah,
I mean, I did my predictions in the midweek as well, and I also went 1-1. The problem with us is, I mean, we have to score 2 to win a game.
Yeah.
That's long story short. We are going to concede at least 1. And hopefully Wilson can put another one in the net. It's good news that Wilson got his goal against Spurs, so at least he's come back, scored straight away. Hopefully he can continue that tomorrow. But as I say, I mean, Palace have looked great this season and we have looked woeful, so I think trying to predict anything other than I mean, you know what, football's football and anyone can win on a day, and with Jones being in there, Bruce is out, maybe that can be our turning point. But I think a win is going to be a tough one if we can get it. I mean, we'll be there. I'm hoping we'll get it.
Hopefully,
but,
it'll be worth the journey.
I think 1-1 would still be an alright result for us right now.
Stay tuned, everyone. Make sure you drop your comments in who you'd like to see in the starting lineup. What's your score predictions? Like I say, check out Rob's channel, Rubenstein, and then make sure you stay tuned for the match day content tomorrow. We'll have the vlog, we'll have all of that. So stay tuned. We'll be covering it. Hopefully, we'll have a positive result. Subscribe to my channel TV and enjoy yourself.